Have you ever tried adding tulle to your handmade cards? Today I'm making a birthday card with a delicate tulle-covered window that gives a peek at a beautifully colored floral design inside. I'll show you how to create this elegant effect from cutting the window to securing the tulle, and of course, we'll add some gorgeous colored pencil details. It's an easy way to add texture and dimension without extra bulk. Hey everyone, it's Lean from ColoradoLean.com. Welcome back to the craft room. I actually got the inspiration for this card while going through my mom's scrapbooks back in 2019. She and my dad received a wedding congratulations card with a tulle window, and I was fascinated. I'll go ahead and pop a photo of the original card here on screen so you can see what caught my attention. About a year later, in 2020, I saw Jennifer McGuire share a similar technique, and I made a card of my own. But after recently finding this leftover tulle in my craft stash, I thought, why not revisit this idea and give it a fresh twist? So let me show you exactly how to make this elegant tulle window birthday card, starting with the card base. As always, I'm going to be working with 110-pound white Recollections cardstock for my card base. The finished card will measure 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I have my card base here, and I have 2 extra panels which are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm going to go ahead and set one of those aside for now. Hopefully we will not need it later. So in order to make the window card with the tulle, we do need 2 layers. And that's just so we have a place to tape the tulle and hide it out of the way. In my original card that I did back in 2020, and I will pop a picture of that here on screen for you, I did have the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card base, and then I trimmed the front panel down a little bit. I don't want to do that this time. I just want to keep it the full size. To cut our window, I'm going to go ahead and use the Fawn Stitched Rectangle Stackables die set. This is the small set, and I will be using the second to the smallest. And there are really 2 ways that we could do this. We could either cut the original window from the card base, or we could cut it from our extra panel and then line it up on the card base. I'm not 100% sure the best way to go about doing that, but let's try cutting out this panel here. I have some best ever craft tape from Spellbinders that I'm going to use to hold my die down to the card base. This isn't super sticky, but it's a little bit stickier, so I'm just going to throw that down on my pants for a minute while I get my die lined up. I don't want it too close to the top, but I do want it centered side to side as best as possible. So I'm going to bring in my little T-ruler here. Okay, I think that is about right. So I'm going to take this down. And now I'm going to hop off real quick and run this through my Sizzix Big Shot, and I will be right back with you. And we have our window popped out. I'm going to set this aside in my little box of stuff, and I can very easily use this on another card project. Before I take my die off of this card, I will center this on the card front. And I have 2 more pieces of Best Ever craft tape. And I'm going to tape that together. And then I will run this through my Big Shot again to cut the window out of the card front. So I'll be right back. This was run through the Big Shot twice, and it did not cut all the way through. So let's go ahead and carefully remove the tape. So you can see here that that did not cut all the way through. We're going to go ahead and fit this die right back into place. And because it's already been run through, there are grooves that it will fit right into. And then we will get this taped back on and run it back through the Big Shot one more time. And that was all we needed. All right, let's go ahead and get this die taken off. This tape is a lot stickier than I like for doing this particular process. I don't like how it left an impression on here. I'll try and get a close-up view of this because I really don't know if you're going to be able to see that. Just right here in the corners. The more I looked at this, the more I thought, now I really don't want to use this panel with the tape impressions. So I brought out my extra piece and I stacked them together with the bad piece on top and ran it through. And there we go. There is a little bit of tape impression here on this side from where I just wrapped a piece of tape around to hold the 2 pieces of cardstock together, but it is not that big of a deal. Let's go ahead and set this piece aside for now, and we will start working on our floral image. I'm going to use this adorable little stamp from Altenew called Flower Delight. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Misty. I will line up my card here in the corner. Then I'm going to line up my floral image here in the window. Close this down, pick up my stamp, and then I'm going to open my card. And again, line it up here in the bottom corner. I think I'm going to go ahead and get my other magnet out to kind of hold that down a little bit more. There. Okay, that'll be fine. I will be using my GinaK Designs Amalgam ink. This is re-inked with Obsidian Black. I just want to make sure that I put a little bit more pressure in the center of these flowers. And there we go. After I stamped my image, I did let this dry for a little bit. I want to make sure the ink is completely dry before I start using my color pencils. And today I'll be using the Prismacolor Premier color pencils. The flowers will be colored in carmine red and crimson red. The center of the flower I'm going to do in Goldenrod and a little bit of terracotta, which is a very pretty color. And for the leaves, I'm going to be using dark green. I'm also going to be using a little bit of Gamsol, which is 100% pure odorless mineral spirits, as well as 2 blending stumps. In all honesty, I have not used colored pencils in a very long time. So let's see what kind of image we can come up with. And I might not even use the carmine red. I'm going to start off with the crimson red around the base of the petals, as well as running them along the inked lines in the stamp, and anywhere that it looks like petals are overlapping. This particular petal is folded up, so I will also put a little bit of this color underneath that line. I'm going to go ahead and color in the rest of this flower, and I will make you sit there and watch that. I'll color it in, and then I will bring you back when I'm ready to use the Gamsol. I've got the coloring finished on this first petal, so let's go ahead and open up our Gamsol, and we will just put the blending stump in there and just let it soak up a little bit of the mineral spirits. And then we just use it like we would a regular pencil. I'm going to run this in little circles. And then I'm going to blend it out. And that's what our first petal will look like. Now it is wet, so that the center of the petal looks a little bit funny, but once the mineral spirits completely evaporate, it will have a much lighter look to it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish using the Gamsol on this flower, and I'll be back and show you what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and finish coloring our image, and I will be back when it's all finished. And there is our finished coloring. It kind of looked like the ink wasn't quite dried on this one petal here, so I did have to add a little bit extra color pencil in there to kind of blend out the gray that was happening. But this is just super cute. So let's go ahead and set this aside for a moment and finish working on our card front. For this sentiment, I'm going to be using the Happy Sentiments from This Calls for Confetti. And I am going to bring in my mini Misty this time. I think I'm going to go ahead and stamp both of these words at the same time, the happy and the birthday. Pardon my head. And I will bring back in my GinaK Amalgam ink in Obsidian Black. That is very pretty. I really like how tall that happy is. I'm glad I picked this stamp up. I think I'm going to go ahead and set this off to the side for a few moments and let this ink dry a little bit more. Because I have this extra piece, I'm going to use this as a template to cut my tool. Now, you certainly don't need a whole lot. I do want to make sure that I'm at least 1/4 of an inch on either side. So I will make a couple of rough cuts here. And then I can trim it up. Now you may have noticed I had a lot of tulle left. So if I don't get this quite right, I can always try it again. All right, now let's just trim off a little bit more of this on the bottom. That's a little more than we need. That's going to be the perfect size right there. So I have my card front back. I will turn that upside down. Then I'm going to outline the window with some score tape. So funny story, my camera decided to quit on me before I could film the last few steps, but luckily they are super simple. After adding score tape around the opening on the back of the front panel, I placed the tool down and pressed it into place. Then I added more score tape around the perimeter of the panel and adhered it to the card front. And here it is, all finished. I love how the tool softens the design even more, and the happy birthday sentiment from This Calls for Confetti is bold without being overpowering. Even with this little filming mishap, I am so happy with how this card turned out. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new tutorial. Let me know in the comments if you've ever tried a tool window card or if you're inspired to make one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.